In today's video, I want to talk about what so many people are getting wrong about courses that's leading people to stop trusting in doing that exchange of exchanging money to acquire skills, and how you should actually approach it when you're looking to buy a course or multiple courses so you get the most value for your money. And just for reference, last year I spent around $20,000 on courses, and this quarter I'll probably spend another $10,000 to $20,000 just on getting better at service delivery and sales. Also, if you don't know who I am, let me just introduce myself. My name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix, and we're a performance marketing agency that helps e-commerce brands scale through UGC content and paid advertising on a performance-based approach. So I think the very foundation of how people actually view courses and what they expect going into it is fundamentally broken, and that's why people are starting to not trust in making that exchange of paying money to actually acquire a certain skill. So let's just try and play out how most scenarios goes. So step one is you want to learn about a specific subject, right? Let's say Facebook ads. So you start going on the hunt to find the top dog, the top guy in the industry. Now you buy the course and you spend, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks going through all the material to become a beast at Facebook ads because that's what you thought would happen. But when you try to apply all the stuff you learned, you're not making that $1 million overnight, and now all hell really breaks loose internally and in your mind, right? And you're thinking, what's happening? Why is nothing happening? Why am I making $1 million? Well, let me tell you, I ultimately think it can be broken down into 3 different buckets. There's mindset, there's experience, and there's quality. And I honestly think quality has the least to do with it, but that's what people seem to blame the most when they're not getting success from the course they bought. And from personal experience and just talking to other people, I actually think that mindset and experience has the most to do with why you're not getting the results you want. So let's try and break it down. In terms of quality, I think it's actually pretty easy to determine, hey, is the quality of the content in this course actually good or not? Because in 9 out of 10 cases, it is. Like, if the guy or girl you're buying the course from, if they're sharing valuable information online and they have a good following and they have testimonials and you kind of like what they are saying online, then yeah, odds are the content in the actual course is going to be good as well. But sure, if you're buying a $10 course on Udemy on Facebook ads and expecting to, become a beast overnight, you also need to adjust your expectation, because that's just not happening. No one who can teach you an actual higher income skill will only charge you $10 for it unless they're leaving something out. So usually what you can kind of bet on is the more money you're paying for something, the higher the quality is going to be, and also you'll get more value from it. So let's just say we have a guy over here that and he's kind of the top dog in the industry, and he sells a course for $4,000, but you kind of go through it and you're like, nah, I'm not gonna pay $4,000. So you skimp out and you buy this other guy's course for $497, $500, but you go into it with the same expectations. Of course you're gonna be disappointed, because the value, the SOPs, the systems, everything you're gonna learn in that is not gonna be the same as it is in the course from the guy that's charging $4,000 for it, right? Because he has so much more money to actually work with to produce better, higher quality content. So quality we can pretty quickly rule out. Like, personally, if you also skimped out and bought the second best option, just don't do that. Bottom line, if you're trying to learn a high income skill, you're also going to be paying accordingly. That's just the name of the game. Second, let's talk about expertise. So if you know Alex Hormozi, he talks about a ladder that basically determines your income potential, right? And that ladder is consisting of skills, character traits, and beliefs, right? And as you build, you kind of increase your earning capacity and your earning potential. And so just looking at skills alone, I actually think you have a network or a different ladder within that specific skill you're trying to learn that you also have to build up to actually become proficient in whatever skill you're trying to learn, right? So let's take Facebook ads, for example. To run Facebook ads profitably and actually run them well, there's quite a few things you need to know, right? You need to know how the system works, how Facebook's ad auction works. You need to know how to produce ad copy that actually sells, psychology that makes people tick. You need to know how to create high converting content and creatives, right? There's a lot of different stuff you need to know within Facebook ads alone just to be able to run a profitable, well put together Facebook ad and Facebook ad campaign. So inevitably there is going to be some sort of time debt or ignorance debt that you're going to have to pay off at some point with just trying different things and failing and then figuring out, okay, what actually works for me. And so if you think you can just buy one course for $500 or $4,000 for that matter on Facebook ads and think, okay, from that point on, I'll, know everything there is to know about Facebook ads and I can just make, tens of millions of dollars. That's just a dumb assumption to have. It's just not happening. It's not realistic. To become really good at something, you need to be exposed to a ton of different scenarios so you know how to actually do it right the next time you're getting exposed to that same situation, right? And there's not one course out there in any field that will teach you every single scenario you will meet on your journey, right, to become really proficient at whatever skill you're trying to learn. So as you're building out that network, right, that network you need to develop to actually know the entire skill, Facebook ads, as we just touched on, ad copy, creatives, everything like that. Until you develop everything and know everything there is to know, you're not going to see a whole lot of results from that, and you're probably going to be scratching your head thinking, what's going on? Why do I not seem to be progressing? But it's because you haven't built that ladder within that specific skill to actually allow you to be proficient and run ads profitably on Facebook. So just to give another example, right, to maybe drill this home a little bit more, let's say you're building a car, right? And you build the entire exterior and you build the engine on the car, but you don't have any wheels, the car's not going to go anywhere, right? So if you're just missing one component from that entire equation, you're not going to be going anywhere. You're still going to be stuck in the garage. And so the more you can learn and the more exposure you can get, the faster you're going to build that car. And that's why you buy courses. It gets you exposure to a lot of different scenarios you wouldn't have gotten on your own, or you would have gotten on your own, but on a much longer time horizon. And that's the real opportunity cost of not buying courses. And so the trap most people fall into is that they'll buy a course and they won't see results for 3 months, and suddenly they'll try something new on their own and they'll be like, oh, amazing, I figured it out on my own. I didn't need this course actually. And now, they get all mad because they're like, hey, I spent $5K on your course, I didn't learn anything, I just did this on my own, and now, I seem to know what Facebook ads is, or I seem to know how to run ads profitably. But what they fail to see and what they fail to attribute is everything they learned from the course is what led them to eventually find the best solution for them to run the ads profitably. So if we just go back to the car, right? If you manage to install the wheels yourself and now, the car is finally able to drive, people tend to attribute the functioning car to them actually making the wheels, but they don't see all the help they got from somebody else that helped them build the whole engine and build the whole exterior around the car, right? So you can't just factor in your own help. You have to factor in everything you learned from the course along the way that might have led you to then finally cracking the solution and taking that final step you needed to run the ads profitably. And then lastly, we have student mindset. And so this feeds directly into the mindset that you apply and how you view buying courses and how you view buying skills. So if we follow the same analogy that within learning a skill, we have different sub-skills, right? We have a network of different components we need to learn. First off, the question we have to ask ourselves is, why would we only buy one course and say that's it? If you think about it, it makes no sense that you think that you can learn a high income skill that has a ton of various components to it, like Facebook ads or selling, and you need to master all those different components, and people literally spend years learning that, and you think you can learn it by just buying a course that costs $1,000. It makes no sense. The mindset you need to apply is that you need to accumulate knowledge and you need to do it in volume. It's like taking a math class once and then just saying, okay, great, now I know everything there's to know about math. That's not how you approach school, right? That's not how you approach traditional education, but it's how most people approach e-learning and buying courses online. They think, hey, I can just buy one course and I'll be, the master of the universe at this. It doesn't work that way. Go have one Spanish class or one English class and you won't be a master at that, right? It takes years to develop. You have to realize that all the courses you buy is just distilled knowledge from the person that made the course. And what that means is that you're getting exposure to their point of view, what they have experienced over the years that they've been in the field, and it's your job to then try and implement all that and understand what they're actually teaching you. And after that, once you've implemented it and you actually understood everything they've taught you, now you can adapt and you can change what you learned to then fit your workflow. Once you then adapt that and change it to your own liking, then you go out and buy another course, and now you can suddenly combine the knowledge you learned from the two different courses and become even better, and you can kind of mix and match it together how you want, and you can kind of make your own cocktail, right? So now you just become even better and even more competitive in the marketplace. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, right? Like over the last couple months, we've gone through 5 different Google Ads courses just to get more exposure and to get more inputs from other people, so we ultimately can make better decisions for our clients and bring them even better results. So maybe that makes you realize, like, let's say in a competitive marketplace, right, in the agency space, it's super saturated, super difficult to stand out, right? How it's us versus all other Google Ads agencies, how that would make us stand out, taking 5 different courses in a few months. Like, let's say a new Google Ads update comes out, right, to their algorithm or their bidding or their auction, right? All other agencies would then have to spend weeks or months trying to figure out how the update actually impacted their clients' results, whereas we could just go buy a course or buy access to a specific mentor, pay him a couple $1,000s, but then we could learn all that in an hour or 2 instead of having to spend weeks or months trying to figure the same stuff out, right? In those weeks and months it takes our competition to learn what actually has been going on, you know, we're just rolling, we're just producing even better results for our clients, and by doing that we'll continuously deliver better results and get more clients by doing that. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into how you should actually approach courses. I think if you just go in with the mindset of, okay, I need to accumulate a bunch of knowledge, and you should see this as traditional education, and you should be the absolute best student possible. Like, try and compete with other people that's in the course, right? Try and beat them at the system you're learning. And if you do that and you beat all the other people and you try and do your absolute best, then I promise you, you not only do better, you also learn faster, and you can move on to the second course, implement all that, understand it, adapt it to your own liking. And if you're continuously doing that over a couple of years, I promise you, you'll be unstoppable. But yeah, that pretty much sums up today's video. I hope you found some real value in this. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And if you like this video, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.